Hello everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. Tonight I have a simple and delicious recipe for you guys. It is very easy. I'm sure any of you people out there can do it. Again, I'm always stressing anybody can cook. There's plenty of people I know that claim they hate cooking, or they're horrible at cooking, or they always do a bad job of whatever they're making. And one of the goals of these cooking videos of mine is that it is easy. So what I'm going to be showing you how to make today is a stuffed pork loin. I have a pork loin here today. I found this on sale. Pork loin typically is a little pricey, but every once in a while you find a sale. And this was only, I don't know, $2 a pound or something. It really wasn't too bad. And of course there's some stuffing. If you feel so inclined, you can make your own stuffing. But I have a box of stuffing, some onions, and that's all we need to get started. And of course a Dutch oven. This is my preferred piece of cookware. You can make do with something else if you don't have one of these, but if you don't have one, I would recommend getting one. Check out Goodwill or something and pick one up. They're really great to have. So to get started, I'm just going to dice the onions up, chop them up into whatever size you prefer, and turn your stove on underneath the Dutch oven. Throw a little olive oil in there and get these cooking. Now, if you're a beginner cook and you're not really familiar with cooking onions, make sure to leave the heat pretty low. Don't be impatient and try to cook these too fast. They're just going to burn. Speaking of burn, man, my eyes are burning. Onions. So anyway, cook them nice and slow. And after a little while you'll see them start to kind of become translucent, and that will tell you that they're getting nice and cooked and caramelized and nice and sweetened and tasty. If you cook them too hot and too fast, they're just going to burn, and who likes burnt food? So now that the onions are nice and cooked and translucent, I'm going to add the stuffing. This is half a bag. I figured that was just about enough for this. These stuffing bags are usually made to stuff a turkey or a chicken or something, so half is just right for this recipe. So stir that in. Then of course you need liquid. You can really use whatever liquid you want. Some chicken stock, vegetable stock. What I have here is some of my homemade hard apple cider. You could use sweet apple cider. I think the cider, when it cooks down, it gives a really nice taste to it. So I'm going to add some of this. Now, if you guys have watched my other cooking videos, you know I'm not much on measurements. You just kind of pour it until it looks good. Especially with stuffing, this really isn't critical. If it's a little too wet, it's not a big deal, especially because we're going to be cooking the tenderloin in here, and the extra moisture will just help keep everything really tender and moist. It's not that big of a deal. Put a little bit more in there. I think that's just right. So at this point, I'm going to turn the oven on to bake. About 350 degrees will be just right. Now with the pork loin in front of us, we have to open this up a little bit so we can actually put some stuffing in there. Now, in reality, the stuffing operation really isn't going to be that accurate of a term, because, well, I made a lot of stuffing, so there isn't going to be enough space in here. But whatever, that doesn't matter. So basically what you want to do is kind of cut this thing jelly roll style. So you start on one side, you cut through, and you start rotating the meat as you're cutting, so you kind of unroll it and make a flat piece of meat rather than a round one. So this is still just a hair frozen from the freezer, so I'm thinking that it might actually make my life easier because the meat will be a little stiffer. But that may or may not be true. Let's see. So I made my first cut down. I'm angling the knife before I cut all the way through and making another cut. And fold that meat down and make another angled cut. See what I'm doing there? Not too hard. Peel that open. There. That turned out pretty well. I'd say that was just about as easy as if it was thawed, because this came in a package of 2, and I cut up the other one room temperature, and it was just about the same. So here's the stuffing. I'll just kind of pack it up into a longitudinal mound inside the Dutch oven here. Now with that done, I'll take the meat, the pork loin, and just sort of flop it over all of that. And try to tuck, ow, ooh, that was still hot. And try to tuck it in a little bit, like so. And don't worry if there's some straggler stuffing, that doesn't matter. That's just fine. Alright, we're almost ready to put it in the oven, but we gotta spice it up a little bit. So just to put some moisture in the bottom here so it can kind of steam itself and keep it nice and moist, I will add the remainder of my cider here. Not too much left. Now on top of the meat, I'll sprinkle some breadcrumbs, some Italian breadcrumbs, along with some grated Parmesan cheese, fresh ground black pepper, a couple pinches of salt, a little bit of cumin, some sprinkles of rosemary and thyme, oregano. That's all there is to it. The only cooking you did up to this point, remember, was the onions. That's it. Everything else is just mixing, a little bit of cutting, but this is going to be delicious, I guarantee it. So now the oven just came to temperature. I'll put the lid on to the Dutch oven. And I'm going to slide this into the oven. I'm going to start off at about half an hour of cooking, but I know that's not going to be enough. Remember, you can always cook it longer, but you can't cook it less. So I'll do a half hour, then I'm going to check it with my meat thermometer, because unless I'm cooking a steak, it's not that easy to determine the doneness of meat. And if you overcook something, especially I've found pork loin and chicken breasts, if you overcook them, they become really dry and they're just not good at all. So aim for 160 degrees internal temperature, it'll be just right. Okay, about 40 minutes in the oven at 350 degrees, it's just right. Actually it's 165, 170 or so, a little bit higher than the 160 I was aiming for, but you know, it really doesn't matter. That's close enough. You can see it's all nice and cooked down. The juice on the side that was the cider is just kind of syrupy now. It's been cooked down and reduced a little bit, and it looks and smells delicious. So I'm gonna slice off a piece here for myself. Alright, let's give this a try. Now, I will be honest, I am not one for presentation all the time. Especially right now, I don't have any vegetables or anything on the plate. This is just as it came out of the pot. And, you know, it doesn't look like a Martha Stewart dinner right now, but you know what? This isn't Martha Stewart cooking, this is Swamp Yankee cooking. So this is probably going to incinerate the inside of my mouth. But let's give it a try. Oh yeah, it's another good batch. The pork is done just right. Nice and tender and moist. It comes apart easily and it cuts very easily. Of course, it is a tenderloin too, so you have that going for you. But I have had several tough or dry tenderloins because I figured that, oh, you know, it's a tenderloin, you could just simmer it for a long time and let it just simmer and become delicious with whatever sauce I had in there with it. But you can't put too much heat to it. It just, I think all the proteins and everything in the meat, they just shrink up and they tense up, and it squishes all the juice and all the liquid out of the meat, so you just have this dry meat. This is just right. And of course all the seasonings and everything come together very well. Both the seasonings that we added and the seasonings that were in the breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs come with a really nice mix of seasoning. Oh, and the stuffing too, of course. But this is a real easy standby, and you just throw it right together. It's not challenging to make at all, and you walk away for 45 minutes and come back and it's done. So I hope you guys try this. It's easy, it's cheap, and well, you know, you have to find the pork loin on sale, but I really think you're going to enjoy this. So thanks for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already and you want to stay up to date on all my new videos and new cooking videos that are going to be coming out. And if you enjoyed this, if you made this and it was good, make sure to give me a thumbs up. I'll appreciate it. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my videos and my channel. And come on back for more.